I was introduced to weed probably like 7th, 8th grade. I didn't really like smoke it that much, but 10th grade started smoking it a lot. I don't need weed. Like, it's not like when I don't have weed, I'm like calling people up asking for bags. But when I have weed, I like to smoke it.
A lot of parents are really strict on the kids about it. A lot of parents really don't care. Like, a lot of parents will smoke weed with the kids.
We do the Red Ribbon Week, we do assets, we do a lot of positive traits to try to focus on good behaviors. We've had the police dogs in years past, we've had the police in certainly.
I feel like since we are like a suburban school, it's not really focused that much with the teachers and with everybody. I feel like there's a lot more they could do.
If you live in this community and your child goes to this high school, then they're probably like involved in drugs or they see it daily.
Past 30 days, I think around 70 to 80% of the kids have smoked weed.
Probably 75%. A lot of kids.
On the other side, the centuries are what it meant to me. A cemetery where I marry the sea. A stranger thing that never changed my mind. I gotta take it on the other side. Take it on the other side. Take it on. Take it on.
I think what I would tell parents is that sometimes people act differently in groups than they do on their own. And sometimes a child who is very well behaved on their own in a class with 5 or 6 of his best friends might act up. And when I call home as a teacher and say that, sometimes parents are surprised by that. I think sometimes someone that might never drink or do drugs in their own home or near their parents, when they're out with their friends under the peer pressure, might try it. And so I think parents might need to be a little more suspicious than they might want to be. And that's hard, because I can tell you as a teacher, I know that out of my 100 students, there's a certain percentage of them that do alcohol and drugs. But if you ask me to point individually, I love all my kids. I have a real hard time pointing to an individual kid and saying, yeah, that's the one, or she's the one, or he's the one. And so I have that same trouble of going from my knowledge that, yes, kids are doing it, to this particular kid who I know and love is doing it. So I guess I would tell parents the same thing I tell teachers. It can happen to your kid, even if you really know and love them and think that they wouldn't do it.
Talk to your kids, tell your kids what you have done, and explain to them why you regret doing what you did, because it's not cool if you tell them not to, but you yourself did it.
If I had a kid in Fairport, it would depend on the situation if I'd trust him with drugs. Depend on the group of kids he's hanging out with and like where he's hanging out, like knowing where he is. Like, yeah, you can go and you can play sports. Yeah, you can do after-school activities. You can do other things to keep you motivated on something else. But there's always going to be that time where, like, you could get drawn into smoking weed. And as soon as you're drawn in, it's like, oh, this is fun. Like, I have a fun time doing this. There's not a lot of other things that are funner than this. So that's why I think a lot of kids start smoking weed and doing other drugs, is to, like, get away from stuff that they're not interested in.
Talk to your children with honesty. Just, like, say, like, there's no consequences if you're truthful to me. I just need to know, because just knowing that your children aren't doing, like, truly dangerous things, like, as long as they're not involved in, like, violent crimes, you should always be aware of what they're doing so that they don't get into things like that.
Kids use drugs for a number of reasons, because they're depressed and they're looking for an escape, or they're just looking for something fun to do, or, their friends are doing it so they feel pressured so they want to do it, or, they have, like, trouble at home and they're trying to get away, and, drugs seem like a way out for a lot of kids, and, like, just something fun to do with it, like, a new way to, like, look at things. People think of weed doing that for you, and I think people are always trying to, like, change their realities, and they find that easy to do with drugs and on alcohol too.
Just, like, even if you think your kid's, like, good, ask them anyways, because, like, they'll probably be honest with you, and just, be interested in your kid.
I have this little comic here.
all right, that says you can't judge, essentially, you can't judge just by appearance what a student or a male or female student is going through. So I don't think you can just say that one group of kids are abusing versus another group of kids that are abusing. I think that substance abuse can take place at the AP student level, the regular Regents level, and perhaps students that have a lot of learning disabilities. So I don't think you can just tangibly say one group of student is using and this group of student is not using.
Feel it. Just feel it.